Hey there, welcome to another Slightly Redneck video. We're in the kitchen today, and Christmas time is coming. It's just a few days away from here now, just about, well, 5 days from today. So I thought it was a good opportunity to do a video on making some eggnog. So I've just recently kind of experimented with a few eggnog recipes, and I've got one that I think is pretty good. So, more than the recipe, I want you to focus on the technique here. Eggnog's pretty simple. It's basically going to be eggs, raw eggs, sugar, cream together with a pinch of salt, and then you're going to mix that in with milk and cream, and then whatever flavorings you want after that. So we'll go through the process here, and I'll tell you, you can adjust these measurements a little bit, and I'll explain that as we go along, just to get the result that you're looking for. So let me get to it. I'll walk you through what I've got over here, and we'll get started. Okay, so I've got my salt, and like I said, I'm just going to need a pinch of salt, probably about a 1/4 teaspoon. I've got my sugar here that I'm going to cream in with my eggs. Now I'm using 3/4 cup of sugar. If you like things a little bit sweeter, go with maybe a full cup of sugar. I don't like them quite as sweet, so 3/4 cup. Got my eggs here. These are just egg yolks, and I'm using 8 egg yolks for this recipe. If you like your eggnog richer, you can move that up to 10 or even 12 egg yolks if you want. It'll be a lot richer. If you like it more, more of a light flavor to it, and you don't like it quite as rich, then maybe use 6 egg yolks. But I'm using 8 for this. I'm going to be using heavy cream. Now I've got 2 cups of heavy cream. I'm going to end up with 4 cups of milk cream combined. If you want it thicker, use more heavy cream, up to 2 cups of heavy cream. I like my eggnog very thick. If you don't want it real thick, then use a cup of heavy cream only. Make up the rest of the difference with milk. So I need 4 cups of milk total, or of dairy total. I'm using 2 cups of heavy cream. I'm going to be using 2 cups of whole milk. Make sure you get whole milk. Don't get low fat. You want high fat for this recipe. I've got some vanilla that I'll be putting in at the end. Try to get pure vanilla extract if you can. And then I'm not putting alcohol in this, so I'm going to be using the pot there to pasteurize it. If you're putting alcohol in it, up to a cup of alcohol, well, at least a cup of alcohol in this. You won't need to go through the step of pasteurizing. You just cream your sugar with your eggs, like I'm going to do here in a second. Mix in your milk and your cream. Put all your flavorings in and add your alcohol, and it's good to go. The alcohol acts like a preservative, and it will kill any kind of bacteria. I'm not putting alcohol in it, so I'm going to go ahead and pasteurize it, which means I'm going to cook it to about 160 degrees. And we'll walk through that. So first step. The first step thing I'm going to do is, I'm going to do this with a whisk. I'm just going to add my sugar to my egg mixture. I'm going to add about a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I'm not going to measure that. It's just a pinch of salt. Whoa, that's a little too much. There we go. Just a pinch of salt. And then stir this together. So what you're going to end up with is a very sugary egg yolk mess. Now what I'm going to do here is add my cream to my pot, because again, I'm not adding alcohol to this, so this is going to be a pasteurized eggnog. I'm going to get myself 2 cups of milk. Let me pour that out real quick. 2 cups of milk to my pot. So now I've got 4 cups of dairy in there. I'm going to add my egg mixture, stirring very well as I go, to my milk and cream mixture. Okay, stir that up really well. You want to incorporate those 2 things together very, very well. Okay. So I've got that stirred up pretty well, and technically you've got eggnog. At this point you can, like I said, if you're going to be doing alcohol in it, then add a cup of rum or whatever it is you want to put in there. Add it to it. Follow that up with about a teaspoon of vanilla, and nutmeg, cinnamon, whatever it is that you like in your eggnog. You can add at that point, and you're good to go. And this will store, put it in the fridge, it'll thicken up as it stores in the fridge. I'm not adding alcohol, so I'm going to move on to pasteurizing this, and let me get it all set up on the stove, and I'll bring you back over to it, and we'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so I've got my eggnog on the stove here heating up. What I've done is I've stuck a thermometer on the edge here, just a digital read thermometer. And I'm going to cook this over a medium heat, stirring pretty constantly. until it reaches 160 degrees. When it gets at 160 degrees, kill the heat and move it off, and stir it continually until the temperature starts to drop. You don't want to cook that. You don't want to boil this. You start boiling it, and you're going to end up with egg drop eggnog instead of eggnog. You'll end up cooking the eggs in there. That's not what you want. But pretty simple. Just like I said, continue stirring. Watch the thermometer. When it gets to 160 degrees, take it off the heat and stir it until the temperature drops a little bit. Alright, well, you can see it's just about 160. You don't have to really worry about this too much. I mean, it doesn't have to be exactly 160. It's at 159. There's 160. So if you don't have a thermometer, you know, stir it until you've got good steam coming off. I know you probably can't see that on camera, but you got pretty good steam coming off. Hold it there for about 4 or 5 minutes, and you're good to go. So anyway, let's remove that from the heat. What I'm going to do is continue to stir that just a little bit. We'll see that temperature continue to go up for a second, and then it'll start going back down. Alright, so we've got my milk and egg mixture here starting to cool down a little bit. It's time to start adding some flavorings. I'm going to add about a half teaspoon of vanilla. And that's really about all the flavoring I like in my eggnog. You can add cloves, you can add cinnamon. I am going to add some nutmeg, probably somewhere around 3 or 4 teaspoons. Well, probably about a teaspoon and a half of nutmeg to this. And then you can add, you know, a teaspoon of cinnamon to it. You can add a 1/4 teaspoon of cloves, probably more like an 1/8 teaspoon of ground cloves. Any other flavorings that you like. Other than that, put it in a container and put it in the fridge until it chills. It'll be way better after about 12, 13 hours worth of chilling. So turn this camera around here and I'll close this video out real quick. So okay, there we go. Alright, thanks again for watching. Hopefully you learned something here today. If you have a great eggnog recipe that you want to share with me, give me a link to it, leave it in the comments. I'd love to hear your comments on it and what you think of it. And as always, God bless.